Eggs have become one of the most sought-after commodities in the U.S., with prices skyrocketing to historic levels. Keeping shelves stocked is becoming a growing challenge, and for millions of Americans, affording this breakfast staple is no longer a given. Since November, prices have surged at an alarming rate, exacerbating an already volatile market. This follows a 40% increase in egg prices between 2020 and 2022, but what's happening now is unprecedented. Retailers are sounding the alarm as shortages force stores to ration egg purchases. Many grocery chains have imposed strict limits, capping customers at just 1 or 2 cartons per visit. The primary culprit? A devastating outbreak of bird flu that has decimated egg-laying hen populations across the country. Reports indicate that millions of birds have been culled, sending shockwaves through the supply chain. The consequences are affecting not just grocery shoppers, but also businesses that rely on eggs, such as bakeries, restaurants, and food manufacturers. According to data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, the price of a dozen large eggs in December hit $4.15, up from $3.65 just a month prior. And in some areas, prices have jumped to as much as $8 per dozen. Many consumers are facing even steeper hikes, with some reporting prices exceeding $10 per carton. Experts warn that this could be just the beginning of a prolonged crisis as the bird flu epidemic continues to spread and disrupt supply chains. The situation is worsening, with more farms reporting outbreaks each week, and there is no immediate resolution in sight. The problem isn't just limited to the cost of eggs. There are ripple effects across the entire food industry. With poultry farms suffering huge losses, the supply of other poultry products, including chicken meat, has also been affected. This has resulted in an increase in the price of chicken products nationwide. Restaurants that rely heavily on eggs have had to raise prices, leading to growing frustration among consumers. Some businesses have even been forced to reduce their menu offerings, cutting down on dishes that require large quantities of eggs. Consumers have taken to social media to document their frustration, sharing images of barren store shelves and price tags that seem almost unbelievable. A viral video from a Chicago Trader Joe's showed signs limiting customers to 1 carton per day. Similar restrictions have been reported at Walmart, Aldi, Lidl, and Whole Foods, with some stores allowing only 2 or 3 cartons per shopper. There are also reports of people lining up before stores open to secure eggs before they sell out, adding to the sense of panic and urgency surrounding this shortage. Some retailers are taking more drastic measures to prevent bulk buying and reselling. Reports indicate that certain stores are requiring membership verification or implementing digital tracking systems to prevent individuals from purchasing large quantities at different locations. The impact is even being felt by wholesale buyers as food service providers struggle to secure their usual egg supplies. Meanwhile, farmers are grappling with the devastating financial toll of culling infected flocks, knowing that rebuilding their supply will take months, if not longer. Reports of egg thefts are also surfacing, with some stores experiencing shoplifting incidents involving cartons of eggs. Security measures have been tightened in response, and some supermarkets have even placed eggs behind locked glass cases, treating them as high-value goods. Experts say this type of response is reminiscent of previous economic crises when consumer panic led to extreme hoarding behaviors. In response to growing shortages, some consumers are turning to alternative sources, such as farmers' markets and direct-from-farm purchases, to secure eggs at more reasonable prices. However, even these sources are experiencing record demand, making it difficult for smaller farms to keep up. Additionally, some consumers are considering backyard chicken farming as a way to circumvent high prices, but raising chickens comes with its own costs and challenges. The USDA predicts that egg prices will increase by an additional 25% in 2025, on top of the 43% hike seen between 2019 and 2022. Meat and poultry prices are also expected to surge, creating an even heavier financial strain on consumers. The economic strain is being felt across multiple industries, with small businesses that rely on egg-based products, such as bakeries and pastry shops, struggling to maintain profitability. Some bakeries have resorted to using egg substitutes, while others have had to reduce production or absorb the higher costs. Meanwhile, bird flu continues to ravage poultry farms across the U.S., spreading at an unprecedented rate and leaving destruction in its wake. Reports from the CDC indicate that the virus has now infected over 145 million birds in all 50 states, showing no signs of slowing down. The sheer scale of this crisis is staggering, with poultry farms struggling to contain outbreaks and prevent further devastation. The situation has worsened to the point where entire poultry operations have been wiped out overnight, leaving farmers with no choice but to watch their livelihoods collapse. The most recent surge in cases has led to the forced culling of a shocking 23 million egg-laying hens between November and January alone. Each day, more reports surface of farms shutting down, with tens of thousands of birds being slaughtered in an attempt to curb the spread. Farmers are devastated as they are required to destroy entire flocks the moment a single bird tests positive. This extreme measure, mandated by the USDA, is a death sentence for countless farms, pushing many to the brink of financial ruin. The economic impact is nothing short of catastrophic. Farmers who have spent decades building their businesses are now left scrambling to survive. The poultry industry, once a pillar of stability, is now crumbling under the weight of relentless losses. Millions of dollars in revenue are vanishing in mere weeks, and with limited government relief, many farmers are facing impossible choices. Some have resorted to taking on massive debts just to keep their farms running, while others are closing down entirely, unable to cope with the mounting costs and lack of financial support. Beyond the direct impact on farmers, the broader food industry is feeling the shockwaves. Egg shortages have crippled supply chains, leaving grocery stores with empty shelves and consumers with fewer options. The ripple effect has extended to countless businesses that rely on eggs, including bakeries, restaurants, and food manufacturers. Some companies have been forced to halt production of key products, while others are desperately searching for alternatives to keep their operations afloat. The sheer scale of destruction is prompting experts to warn that this could be the worst bird flu outbreak in U.S. history. Some analysts are predicting that egg prices will continue to rise well into 2025, with no clear end in sight. Meanwhile, desperate consumers are scrambling to find affordable eggs, often turning to alternative sources or paying exorbitant prices just to secure a carton. As the crisis drags on, frustration is mounting. Farmers are demanding more government assistance, while consumers are left wondering when, or if, prices will ever return to normal. With no immediate solution in sight and the virus continuing to spread like wildfire, one thing is clear: the egg industry is in uncharted territory, and the worst may be yet to come. Egg shortages have also fueled an increase in black market sales. Reports indicate that some individuals are crossing state lines to purchase eggs in areas where prices are slightly lower, while others are reselling eggs at inflated prices in their local communities. The lack of oversight in these transactions raises concerns about food safety, as some eggs may be stored improperly or transported under less than ideal conditions. Authorities are monitoring the situation closely as price gouging and illegal resales become more widespread. As families struggle to keep up with rising prices, many are forced to change their eating habits. Restaurants are adjusting menus, removing egg-based items to control costs. Some food manufacturers have already started experimenting with egg alternatives, using plant-based or synthetic substitutes in their products. Large retailers are also engaging in global sourcing efforts, attempting to import eggs from international suppliers to mitigate domestic shortages. Adding to the crisis, officials are now monitoring a possible crossover of the virus to dairy cows in California and Nevada, which could drive up meat prices nationwide. If the outbreak continues to spread, consumers may see further spikes in grocery costs, particularly for poultry and dairy products. Analysts predict that food inflation could remain high throughout the year, forcing many households to adjust their shopping habits and cut back on certain food items. While experts warn that there is no quick fix, one thing is clear: the egg crisis is far from over. Consumers are bracing for even higher prices in the coming months, and businesses are scrambling to adapt. The uncertainty surrounding egg production, coupled with the ongoing effects of inflation and supply chain disruptions, means that this issue is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Some analysts suggest that government intervention in the form of subsidies or emergency agricultural aid may be necessary to prevent further financial ruin for farmers. What do you think about these skyrocketing prices? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for the latest updates from Economy Explorer.